Yay! We're back. It's us again.
We're always going to keep coming back. You can't get rid of us.
We're like herpes or thrush.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable you comparing the podcast to...
This is episode 3 of series 6.
I almost said 5.
Of the Co-Pilots Podcast, the show where every week we take two pilots which definitely always share a theme.
Every 2 weeks.
And sure. And then discuss them. And this week we have got a doozy, I believe they call it over there in the pond. The wheels have fallen off. Gentleman Jack and Peaky Blinders, which Peaky Blinders I've tried watching a couple of times. This is my, I think, third time watching Peaky Blinders. Gentleman Jack, don't know much about it other than my mother-in-law likes it. That's all I got.
Yeah, couple bits of period drama.
You can get in touch with us, because why wouldn't you want to? On Twitter, we're at Real Co-Pilots. On Instagram, we are at The Real Co-Pilots Podcast.
Facebook is YouTube, Real Co-Pilots as well.
Yep, and YouTube, we are youtube.com/UCAMM8VYCAOAHDXL3JVQLIPW, which is really easy to remember.
I'm pretty sure that's right. All the links are on the copilotspodcast.co.uk website.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Where you can also pop in suggestions, and there might be written stuff coming out soon if we can be bothered.
Oh, hang on! Don't promise something we can't deliver.
I said if we can be bothered.
Obviously, I quite apart from anything else, I'm not Joe from Co-Pilots. I'm obviously Joe from Podbible. So go to podbiblemag.co. Sorry, podbiblemag.com. Who obviously have sponsored this episode. Which actually, let's invoice them for that. I'll send an email. Yeah, enjoy this. We talk bollocks. Bye. Now, clap in 3, 2, 1.
Science is a bit more awkward when we can just watching you not talk. And that's the podcast. Cut it.
Oh dear. Right. Where are we? Series 1, episode 3. Series 1? No, we're on Series 6, aren't we?
Yeah, no, if it was Series 1, we'd have probably, I don't know, had a break by now.
You'd have thought so.
Missed an episode.
We've got historicals. Hang on. Are they both based on real things?
I don't think Gentleman Jack is so much.
Isn't it? It's based on what's it? The Diary of Anne Lister, who I think was a real person. I don't know. This is the sort of thing we should look up before we start. Oh yeah, Excuse me.
She was a real person, yeah.
I've drunk some gin and tonics and it made me burp.
Okay, yeah, they're both based on real things.
That's the link. You're welcome.
And there's an actress who's in both as well. You know, if we needed something to fall back on.
Who's that?
Sophie Rundle, who plays Anne in Gentleman Jack, also plays someone.
Plays Anne in Gentleman
Peaky
Jack.
Blinders.
I thought it was Saran Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, Anne Walker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's two.
Yeah, that's very confusing. Actually, they should have thought about that when they started canoodling.
Yeah, but she is Ada Shelby in Peaky
Blinders. Which has been a show that, like, I've always meant to get round to watching, but I never have done. This is the furthest I've got, is watching the pilot. I've not watched it. Have you watched it before? Or?
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing.
Oh, right. Is it?
I watched it. It's because I wanted something to watch after Taboo. Something that was set in, like, that sort of I just had that sort of aesthetic, and Peaky Blinders seemed to really hit the nail on the head. Because it's amazing. Birmingham hasn't changed.
It's
Not at
untouched. I like Birmingham. Birmingham gets a lot of stick, but I like it. I, for one, am a fan of Birmingham.
Well, someone has to be.
Halifax, on the other hand, I've not been to, so couldn't possibly comment.
Neither have I. But I mean, it's a pretty solid bank, so I imagine the place.
Which one do you want to start with?
I guess we've already started chatting Peaky Blinders.
So, Gentleman Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Peaky Blinders is just based on a gang from Birmingham.
It's a bit of a phenomenon now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like a whole... It's more of an aesthetic than anything else, I think.
It's definitely...
like, a lot of it is...
It's responsible for that haircut coming back, I think.
Yeah. And probably a lot of flat peak caps being sold as well.
Yeah. Which I never thought they looked all that good. They just looked oversized to me. They just looked a bit weird, but... Yeah. So...
Yeah. But then I, off the back of watching it, read a book about... listened to a book about the actual Peaky Blinders. And the intro to the book is like, so what you're thinking is probably the stuff from the TV show, but a lot of that is bullshit. And I was like, stop. Delete. Because it was based on a gang that were around in like the late 19th century and sort of had already sort of gone into like, it's not bankruptcy if it's a gang, is it?
I don't think so.
They all kind of fucked off to the war and didn't really come back. So they were around before the war. So this is, I guess, just kind of making up sort of what would have happened if they'd come back.
Yeah,
I guess.
Having fought for the country and everything, and then come back to this. Yeah.
Birmingham.
Well, I mean, probably not a lot different. No, we can't be rude to Birmingham.
It's fine. I've never seen anyone from Birmingham listen to the podcast.
You've never seen anyone listening to the podcast?
Yeah. But I got a heat map. No one from Birmingham has ever listened to the podcast. But, people in the Middle East, they're listening to the podcast. Just not people from Birmingham. So we can say whatever we like about them. But, yeah, I quite like it. There's loads of really like awesome moments in the show. There's some, like with all TV shows, there are slower episodes.
I actually think the pilot's pretty slow.
Yeah, I think the pilot's a lot of setting the tone, but the thing it just goes. So you remember how Breaking Bad escalates from season to season? This does very much the same thing.
Okay.
Because they have little time jumps in between seasons. And then it's just like every sort of episode 1, the difference between episode 1 and episode 6 is always like a jump.
I like that. I do like it when you come back to a story and there's been time and characters have moved on and are doing different things that you don't necessarily know what they are straight away. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm also 90% sure they kill characters in between seasons.
Really?
And they just sort of come back and they just go, oh yeah, no, it was shite that he done. You're like, he was a pretty fucking big part of the last season. And they're like, sorry. He's kind of dead now.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
But I want to say almost all of season 1 is a lot of like, is essentially the pilot for the whole show, rather than just like almost episode 1 isn't sort of the pilot for this series. Season 1 is the pilot for the show.
Okay.
Because it's because there's a lot of like, I think you meet a lot of integral characters to the rest of the story in season 1. And you get introduced to a lot of like the big players, like the IRA hang about a bit. I think you meet some of the other sort of gangs of Birmingham.
Surely Campbell as well, who obviously was in Jurassic Park, but
yeah, you should ask him for the fucking Jeep.
Yeah, if anyone could get it to me,
just send him a DM on Twitter and just
hey,
be like,
you were in that film.
Why can't I get the Jurassic Park Jeep
from
Rocket League?
I might just tweet him. Say, hey, Sam Neill, do something about it. And if not, you got Goblin's number.
Yeah, because you meet a lot of the Kim, and you sort of see the start of their business.
And
with the
so then is the whole
stuff.
The whole show, like, is the catalyst for the entire show is that they got the wrong crate?
No, I don't think so. But it's because I think they would always have done the bookmaking stuff. It's just they start to get into a bit more of the heavy stuff.
But is that directly as a result of because they've got the weapons and stuff?
I think a lot of the plot of the first season is them trying to get rid of those guns.
Surely it wouldn't be that hard. Like, could you not just chuck them in a river? In fact, isn't that what Polly says?
Yeah, but then the business side
make
of
a few
like,
quid out of them. Yeah.
Tommy just goes like, but money. I think it's the same. It's actually, there's quite not a lot of parallels like with the actual story, but there's a lot of the same character flaws in Walt from Breaking Bad and Tommy.
That lust for power, sort of. They don't
learn. They don't have like an upper limit on what they want. And so all the time, like, various characters are trying to, like, sort of go, hey, maybe chill out. And he just goes off the handle at them. It's, honestly, it's really good. I've watched the whole thing. I'm kind of disappointed. I don't think there's going to be a season coming out this year.
Oh, is that because the story's ending or because of Rona?
I think because of Rona. Because also, the first 4 seasons aired on BBC Two, but then they moved them to BBC One for Series 6.
It's funny when that happens. Like, even, do you know what? Actually, Gavin and Stacey, that happened to. Like, they were on BBC 3, and then they went up to BBC 1.
And after they moved it, they just closed BBC 3. But that's the thing. Like, just looking at the average viewers for each season. Season 1, 2.3. So, pretty good for millions of viewers. Season 2, 2.1. 3, 2.8. Season 4,
wow,
4 million. Season 6, 7.2.
7.2? That's crazy.
And that's all been calculated by like the first 7 days of release. Oh no, first 2 seasons is calculated using 7 days, and the other 3 are for 28 days. So it's quite a jump. And I think it's odd for a show that runs for more than 3 or 4 seasons to gain viewers at the end. And it jumps around quite a lot as well.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at it.
I think it's because the stories are
Series
never...
5 ends in 1929, so that's 10 years after it starts.
I think essentially what they do is they show you like a year in 6 episodes. Okay. Time jump a year and then show you the next 6. Or I think they might have done bigger time jumps and some shorter ones. But there's so much, but I don't want to say anything because I think you'll like it.
Okay. I do feel like it's at some point because my dad's watched it all and he said that's really good as well. I think it is going to be one of the things that I do eventually, like, properly just sit there. Right, come on, we're getting through this. I think what put me off is that when we originally watched it, Lisa didn't like it. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine, but...
Well, I mean, you're married now, so it's important to
definitely
have these fights.
Yeah.
Just, I think this is a hill you could die
I really think we watched it, because I've seen this pilot a few times, because I tried getting into it a little while ago.
I feel like we've watched it together at some point, but I
think
don't...
we might have done.
Because I watched it once, convinced we were doing it for the podcast. And then this is like 4 or 5 years later.
Was it one of the Lost podcasts? I
don't think we did. No, because if it was Lost ones didn't get bumped. They just got binned. It could be one that got bumped, but then it got paired, because it was paired with a relatively new show.
Yeah, I don't know them. But then I think because with the lockdown, I was like, right, well, let's get into a new show, and we tried to make it this one, but it's
Peaky Blinders is a good one.
This what?
Peaky Blinders is a good one to get into, but apparently, the guy who they based Billy Kimber off in the show, so one of the like sort of heads of the family, was in real life a Peaky Blinder rather than a rival. It's cool, and it like there is some historical facts.
Andy Nyman
Churchill's in it.
Plays him. What? That doesn't look like Andy Nyman. That really does not look anything like Andy Nyman. That's crazy.
Also, you have to watch it until you at least meet Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah, I forget he's in it, actually. Oh, actually, when he moves, he looks like Andy Nyman, but still images of him doesn't look like him at all. But...
and also, who else is in it? Littlefinger shows up for a bit. King of the Gypsies. I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Tom Hardy's character is like head of like a Jewish gangster family.
The Craze?
No. But the thing, I'm interested to know how long.
Well, I've just read a quick thing. So, like, he says, Stephen Knight said he's going to end it with the first air raid siren in Birmingham, which is 1940. 3 series.
Oh, of course, we've got another like 10 seasons. Oh, that's cool.
That's quite a cool way of structuring your thing, isn't it? Because if you think about it, there's a lot... Yeah.
Just being like, what were these guys up to?
There's a lot of history to get through, like in that period. Like, I guess you've got suffrage and other things. I can't think of anything else that happened in the 30s in Britain. There's not much, I imagine.
There was the start of the socialist movement in the UK. That gets touched. Because there's a lot. They start season 4 and 5 start getting a little bit more like political, and so yeah, it's that same sort of like evolution of the character as he gets to a certain point and goes where anyone else would kind of go, this is fine. He's got a big sort of criminal empire, like just kind of ticking over, making him money. And he's just like, so what next? Rather than like, maybe hedge your bets and don't do anything more.
I've completely lost where he said he's gonna. Here we go. Making it a story of a family between 2 wars, and by ending it with the first air raid siren in Birmingham, which was the 25th of June 1940. He converted it to take another 3 series to complete the story up to that point. So yeah.
So maybe it will open and close with Winston Churchill. Yeah, it's cool because there's a lot. They also tackle a lot of like
Well, I guess with
PTSD stuff.
Yeah.
I
There's
think you
the
start to
big
see
lad
that
who comes
from
in and
episode
starts
1.
throwing fists in the pub, isn't it? So
Going a bit, yeah. Yeah, there's a bit more of that. There's not a huge amount of it. But I think they have a lot of that. It's not survivor's guilt, but it's that kind of like, I don't give a fuck attitude that some people could develop after surviving a war.
yeah, I mean, I like it.
It's good.
I think it's one of the things that we struggle with is like, because we only get the one episode to, get to know the place and the people and that sort of thing. It didn't really grab me, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess it's another one of those ones where, because the series is commissioned already, they don't have to try as hard to grab you because they can show you like a really cool next time at the end. Because BBC shows tend to do that a bit more, not more than others,
quite a lot,
but
to be fair.
yeah, well, it's the same sort of thing with Doctor Who. Like, you could sort of catch the end of Doctor Who and see the next time bit and go, oh yeah, I'll watch that one. I read the synopsis for this one. It's not really for me.
Nah, fair.
But I think it's probably a good one to have, like, on the go for a while and just, like, dip in and out. It's good. You might find yourself at some point just watching this and be like, oh shit, I need to see the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm sure I will get round to it. And it's got an amazing theme tune as well. That's such a good song. The Red Right Hand, the Nick Cave.
Yeah, it has, from what I remember, it has a pretty solid soundtrack as well. It's not quite like the Westworld cover of Painted Black.
I don't remember
that's
that one.
Incredible. But it's good on a BBC budget.
They do throw money at some stuff. Like anything that's period based, you're throwing a shit ton of money at it.
Yeah, they don't throw money at the special effects in Doctor Who though.
Nah, it's decent. I'm sure I'll get around to watching it eventually. It's just one of them. It's one of them. It's just taking forever.
Yeah,
definitely.
So, should we talk about the one that you're probably not going to watch any more of?
Ugh. Well, not ugh. Like,
Gentleman
it's fine.
Jack.
It's just not like. Okay, so Sally Wainwright wrote this, and she has previously written some of my favourite telly ever. Like, she wrote Happy Valley. I'm desperately trying to get to her Wikipedia page to see what else she's written, because she's done some other stuff which is brilliant. Yeah, you gotta love that.
Emmerdale.
She did. Was it Kiri? We watched that on our neighbour night thing, I think. Scott and Bailey. Did you ever watch Scott and Bailey? It was like a crime drama with Saran Jones and I can't remember her name, but they were partners on they were detectives. It was really good. I used to watch it with my mum. Unforgiven. Is that the one with Sanjeev
We done
Bhaskar?
Unforgiven on the podcast.
No. Unforgotten. Unforgotten's what I'm thinking of, yeah. Unforgiven.
No, that was Unforgotten. I feel it sounds like
Ruth
something we've
Slater,
done.
woman found guilty of murdering 2 police officers when she was a
Yeah,
teenager.
because that's another one of hers. And it sounds really good.
No, we haven't done that, but we absolutely should. Sounds great.
Oh, we haven't done that. So... Unforgiven? 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 That's on the list! Once I remember how to spell. There we go. So that's on the list.
She
now.
did Happy Valley, which I think...
So I just read the synopsis and went, that sounds really good.
Happy Valley was incredible.
Yeah, no, Happy Valley was really
she
good.
did.
I intended to watch more of it.
Confirmed the other day that she's writing series 3 of Happy Valley, so I'm very, very pleased about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's listed as to
I
present.
think Happy Valley is like one of the best series. In fact, both series are really good. So then we come to Gentleman Jack, which I kind of like. I think I like it.
I think. Yeah, I quite liked it. I'm not convinced I'm gonna.
I watched it on Netflix.
This came out on BBC. Why did I watch it on Amazon?
Did you pay for it as well?
I'm a fucking idiot. Yep.
To be fair, I did look for it on iPlayer. It wasn't on iPlayer when I wanted to watch it, but it was on Netflix. Was it on Netflix? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it definitely was on Netflix.
Well, it's clearly been added since
Saran Jones is Anne Lister, and she leaves Hastings because,
stupid.
let's face it, why wouldn't you leave Hastings?
It's shite. That's the thing. As soon as they were saying, like, "Oh, she's leaving Hastings," everyone was like, "Oh, I can't believe it." I was like, "Yeah."
Other than go and look around the caves.
That's the only thing to do.
We were in the caves in Hastings, and there was like a French school trip there, and all these French teenagers, they must have been like 14, 15, and they definitely hadn't showered for a long time because the fucking caves stank of BO.
Well, I mean,
barely.
There is a slight hill to get there, so
that's why I said barely.
Did you go up in the lift up the hill?
I genuinely don't remember. Is it funicular?
Because you took the lift.
Maybe. We may well have done. I don't remember. Hastings is not that memorable. This is true.
True. I only remember it because I lived there for a long time.
But
it's always kind of cool when a place that you've lived gets involved.
Saying that, just before
I moved to London, so it happens a lot
show
more.
On Dave, and there's an MC who's doing a cookery show for some comedians, and they were in Portsmouth of all places. So that was quite weird seeing that place a place I'm very familiar with, all over the shop. Yeah, at one point they drove past like the Spinnaker Tower and all the boats. And like, it's like the Dubai of England, and I went, "You are fucking joking." Fucking Portsmouth. Dubai. Anyway. Oof.
That would have been a fucking cheaper honeymoon, wouldn't it? You don't even need a hotel, you can just drive home at the end of the day.
So yeah, Anne Lister, she comes back to Halifax and starts rerunning her uncle's estate. And she yes.
Do you know what it reminds me of a little bit? Poldark. It's that that sort of.
Poldark was good.
It's actually the period setting like homecoming.
Was Poldark one of the ones we recorded when we were in the same room together? I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah,
I think it might have been. And it was very, very difficult to watch with another person because I was like, couldn't just sit and enjoy Poldark just not having a shirt on. It was great. I was.
Yes. It is
very badly. Well, actually, it's very easy.
Her family has a coal mine, and this is a potential good business venture to lease out. Is it? She wants to lease out the pits, or just sell the coal, or
yeah. Well, she was saying. I think initially she was like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna lease them out and get someone to come in and mine them," and then someone just goes. Or you could buy them, and she's just like.
But then I
couldn't mine them.
This is the trouble, right? I really like this show, but I feel like this episode could have been about 10 minutes long, because like there's some really cool stuff. Yeah, there's cool stuff that happens, and there's a lot of
extra.
Stuff. So like, if she was like,
yeah, like my favorite bit is where she shoots the horse.
Yep.
It's like a guy's like, "Oh, I know he's in pain. I can't do it." And she just goes, "Well,
But,
I mean, you don't see it, so you know.
Yeah, so the bits I like is like, so I've come back to run my uncle's estate. Oh, you have some coal. Oh, you know what would really help? What's that? If you marry into a good family. Start the love story with Anne Walker. Yeah, perfect. But that's 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think a lot of period shows have that sort of slow start where they have to give you, as a viewer, a feel for the time period as well, and I guess the expectations of different classes of people. So I think that's why they have the rent collecting scene. Yeah. Because all that does is make her look like a hard-nosed business person. Whereas I think it's also there to show how poorly the lower classes are held to account. And also, I guess, to give you that sort of like harsh side of her personality, but so I think there's a lot of scene setting.
The Diaries of Anne Lister, which this is based on, contain over 4 million words and are mostly written in a secret code, documenting a lifetime of lesbian relationships. Yep. You're welcome.
I didn't know that until I read the same sentence that you're reading. But it's interesting. And it's a pretty solid cast of characters as well.
Yes. Who was last
Yara Greyjoy's in there?
Me, anyway, in Killing Eve. Who you seen? You need to watch Killing Eve. It's fucking incredible.
Need to watch the rest of that. See, this is the only downside to us recording and getting so far ahead. So I don't really have time to watch whole TV shows if they have more than one season. But that's the excuse that you use, so I'm going to just man up and just watch it.
Yeah, except you get on and watch an entire series in between us recording.
I don't know what you mean. I've already finished 2 Weeks to Live. Since we last recorded. And season 1 of Criminal UK. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty... And I finished The Mandalorian as well. Yeah, okay. I see what you mean.
But yeah, like I said, I kind of like this, but there's a lot of it. I'm like, it feels like a lot of wading through to get to the good stuff.
I'm hoping that when I watch episode 2 on Netflix, rather than purchasing it, because the part of the reason that was going to stop me continuing to watch it was buying it on Prime. Wasn't sure if it was that good. But if it's on Netflix, then yeah, I probably will give it another episode. Because it seems like it got right to the end and you were like, yeah, good stuff. And then it just went, and cut. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I felt like. So yeah, I probably won't watch any more of it if I'm completely honest.
Well, what I'll do is I'll watch
really
some
won't
more
watch
of
any
it,
more of it.
and then I'll report back as to whether it's worth you watching it. Because there's only 8 episodes.
Yeah. Are they an hour long though?
I think they're 40 minutes. 45.
Yeah. I remember thinking it felt like a long 40 minutes.
Yeah. But I think because it aired in the US first before we got it. And they didn't watch it. Like at best 500,000 viewers. But every episode in the UK is over 5.5. Which is... Yeah, it's weird. I don't understand why... I suppose probably trying to cash in on like the Downton. But then...
the period stuff.
Don't give Americans a gay lead character.
Yeah. Apparently they ain't for that. Which is bollocks.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like it seems like an interesting thing to explore in like a period drama. Like it's obviously not unheard of, but it's you don't see a lot of it in period dramas.
I think also if you want to make a point about modern society, or you date the fuck out of it to make it seem far removed, and then you can play around with it so much that people just find their own.
Yeah, their own way to somehow justify why our attitudes are way worse now.
Yeah, exactly.
And probably just blame the internet, it'll be fine. Play video games, play music.
What have we got next? I've not heard of either of these before.
Ooh, interesting.
God-Friended Me and Private Eyes. I don't know what either of these are.
God-Friended Me looks great. I keep seeing it on like stuff that's recommended for me now.
Okay.
And it is, I think, the story of someone on social media who gets friended by God. So the synopsis: Miles Finner is a podcaster, so right up our street, who is vocal about his disbelief in God. So,
hello, it's us again.
He's done a bit of that. His life and those of people around him changes when he receives a friend request on social networking from the Almighty.
I like that. Yeah, I buy that as a concept. Great idea.
Yeah, and it's got a couple of people who are in the DC TV shows. Well, one person who left the DC TV show to be in this, and someone who's just going in to be the new Batwoman. What was the other one?
New Batwoman. I've seen her, I think. Was there a picture of her in the Batsuit? Yes,
came out a couple of days ago.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Ruby Rose, aren't I? Because it was Ruby Rose was Batwoman.
Yeah, she's given up.
She's not Batwoman anymore.
No.
Right. Okay.
Private Eye is not. Doesn't really fit a theme here. Apparently, it's a comedy, so. Former professional hockey player named Matt Shade hangs up his skates and upends his life by becoming a private investigator.
Of course he does.
Really trying to see.
That is weird.
Really trying to see
a hockey player.
Come on, show me a cast member who's in both. Nope. Ooh, I hope one of them's not shit.
I tell you who is in an episode of Private Eyes. Fucking Edge.
Okay, cool. I'm assuming it's not the one we're watching, is it?
Apparently he shows up as a guest star.
Oh, well, it should be interesting.
Weird.
They're both set in America, probably. I know, professional hockey player. That could be Canada, though.
Yeah. Oh, Canadian comedy drama, yeah.
Oh, bollock. Okay, so they're set across an ocean from us. Yeah? There is some water between us and where they are filmed. Therefore... That is
grasping at straws.
I mean, it's... How do we link Breaking Bad and The Flash?
There's deserts in both. I don't think we did. That was before we decided that they were going to have links when we made it.
Exactly. So we don't all... And then Critical, Penny Dreadful. Oh, fuck it. Do you remember Critical?
Really oh, Critical was great.
How many episodes did you watch?
What? No, actually, I think I did watch another one, I think.
Oh.
Because it had Morgan in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Morgan from Walking Dead's in it. And the woman who plays the mum in Outnumbered. See, I do remember.
Yeah, you remember more than I do. I remember it had Morgan in it. And the girl from Fresh Meat.
There you go.
We did Him and Her. Episode 3 of season 1. How long does it take us to do Entourage? Ooh, episode 10. I'd forgotten we did Empire.
Yeah, Empire was great.
Yeah.
Before
that episode really got overshadowed by how much we hated Entourage.
Yeah. Shame, because I really liked Empire. But then that Jussie Smollett guy was like, hey, I got beaten up because I'm gay. I was like, did you?
Now no one knows.
Well, no, people we know. He's just lied. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's coming next.
God unfriended me and
God
blank.
friended me. It's going to be Private Eyes.
Oh, sorry. Did I say God unfriended?
Yeah.
See, that's series 2.
That's the spin-off.
Yeah.
Because you can only have one friend at a
Fuck
time
you.
who's not MySpace Tom.